Yeah, it was an epic fail for me. And I went and seen a guy, local bow shop, met Bruno through him, and he got me hooked to the 3D thing. And 42 bows later, here I am, right? So
You're listening to the Letdown Podcast.
It's like buck fever.
One shot at a time.
That's a big buck.
If last week was any indication, we
where it can go.
Yeah. We went on quite a ride last week.
You guys have had some great guests on so far.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I enjoy listening to it. That's for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Good.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure. I know when we started, it was kind of, it's like anything else. You're just trying to figure out your way and who's going to do what and what's going to happen and how you're going to, not necessarily. You got like I kind of have, and I send these guys some notes. I kind of have an arc that I like to follow, like a story arc.
Yeah.
So the idea that I have is, is kind of, I want to feel kind of, even though I know we're online, but I want to feel like campfire-y kind of thing. And I kind of got that idea from Rick Marchand when we talked to him. And so actually we're going to be doing a bit of a series at Rick where we're going to meet him and actually not live, but at a campfire and actually have like a conversation, go through his years of moose hunting and that sort of thing by a fire.
Oh yeah, he's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah,
100% he is.
Very, very good friend of mine. And some of the stories that he's told me is just unbelievable.
Some of the things he does are unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't doubt that. I would not doubt that one bit.
Yeah, that's a family of killers there, that's for sure.
Oh, definitely. And they're also surrounded by killers, right? A lot of the guys they hunt with too, they're all killers.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
From Carl Jones to Bruce Rain, those guys are all just a bunch of killers. So
yeah, Bruce's whole family. They invited me to go up to their hunt camp there, and I haven't been able to yet, but I'm going to take them up on that option, just to go fishing, whatever, just to hang out or whatever with the girls, and it'll be a good time.
Awesome. So we'll just get into it now. So I'll be honest, Dean, I don't know a lot about your story, how you got into archery, etc. Like from what I can gather and from what I've heard from other folks speaking to them. So, the reason I wanted to have you on is because I heard you're quite the grinder. You're working hard in the sport of archery to, as a competitive shooter. And I've been watching some of your scores and stuff, and I see that you are, you're starting to place high in the rankings here in Ontario, anyways. And then I know you did an ASA. We'll get into that a little bit later too. So I just want to just get into learn about your story.
Sounds good. Well, I said, I appreciate you guys having me on, and I look forward to the questions you have for me, and I'll do the best I can to answer them, and hopefully provide a little entertainment for you, like I always do.
Yeah, well, once we get warmed up, it'll just be a conversation. There'll be questions that come, and feel free to ask us questions or
Sure.
Go down a rabbit hole, whatever. Like that's what the show is about.
Mm-hmm.
We love going down rabbit holes. So we've done a few
Excellent.
years. So yeah. So I guess to start off, like when did you start? When did you pick up a bow?
I picked up my first compound bow probably 2013, I would say. I had bought a high-end crossbow, and the first time I shot it, the trigger failed on it, and it was just before hunting season, and I always hunted with a crossbow, so I picked up a compound bow. Thought I'd just go buy one, and there's nothing to it, right? Yeah, I didn't hunt that season at all because obviously I wasn't accurate with it at all, and it was the wrong draw length, and the normal getting started into archery, right? So it was an epic fail for me, and I went and seen a guy, local bow shop, met Bruno through him, and he got me hooked to the 3D thing, and 42 bows later, here I am, right? So and that number is pretty accurate too. So, yeah.
So then I guess what got you into archery was hunting first then?
Well, yeah, it was I like I said earlier before when we were chatting, I'm not much of a hunter. I was more or less just wanted to go out and sit in the woods and watch stuff, and brought the crossbow with me, and for 6 years I think that I hunted, I didn't shoot a thing. Didn't even see a deer because of the way I was hunting or not hunting. And then I met a few people that got me started and showed me the ropes and stuff, and I got into the hunting part of it. And then when I picked up that compound bow, I started with the 3D right away. My first season with a compound bow, I basically met Bruno, and he showed me the ropes and hit the ground running, I guess. And there I got addicted, and I'm as deep as you can get right now.
Okay.
So it's been a lot of fun.
Right on. So when did you decide to get serious about competitive archery then?
I don't think I've become that point yet where I'm actually serious about it. And I think if it gets too serious, I think I'll give it up at that point.
Okay.
I like to have fun. I like to screw around. There's a really good picture. I was talking to Bruno the one day, and I said, "What's the next level for me? Like, how do I get to where you're at? What do I have to do?" And he says, "We got to smarten up. You got to stop screwing around on the trails." And there's a picture at one of your shoots. We're walking down the trail, and we've got our bows over our shoulder, and Bruno's in front of me. So here comes the two guys with their bow tech shirts on, and Bruno's got his game face on, and I'm behind sticking my tongue out at him, like just. And he says, "That picture sums it up right there. That's the difference from where you are, where I am." So I like to have fun. I like to make sure the guys in my group are having fun, and keep it honest.
Yeah, right on.
So, but I am getting more serious into it now. I'm practicing a lot, putting a lot of time behind the bow. I've really got to like this reckoning, and I just see where I can take it. This year is my trial year to see where I'm going to end up next year.
Okay. Yeah, it was because I was talking to Bruno, and he was saying that you guys kind of have a little competition going on there. So,
it's not really a little competition. It's me funding his archery program, paying $1 a point usually is what it is. So, but I'll catch him. I'm gonna get him one of these times.
That's what he was saying. That's what you told him you were gonna catch him. So that's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, it's nice to have like that kind of mentor, right? Like someone who's just a little bit ahead of you. It keeps you hungry.
Oh, absolutely. And one thing I can say about Ontario right now, especially in the senior class, there's a lot of sharks out there. There's a lot of great shooters out there. Tony Markick, Bob Albert, Peter Ray, any one of those guys on any weekend can take the show, right? And they can win it. And they're always nipping at your heels. And Wayne Woodcock, he's up and coming, and he's putting the time in. And I love seeing, I love the competition. That's why I do it. I love competing, but still having fun doing it.
Yeah. So Wayne Woodcock's my Bruno. So I'm trying to catch Wayne right now.
Well, I'll give him some bad advice. You'll get him.
So you say you're taking a little bit more seriously practicing. What does your practice look like right now?
Well, right now, I've got 19 and a half yards indoor at my shop where I work.
Okay.
So every day I try to shoot at least 60 arrows. Just at a Vegas spot. I hate spot shooting. I never did like it. I feel like I'm playing fetch with myself, but it really has improved my accuracy. So that aim small, miss small, there is something to it.
Yeah. When I talk to these,
I just try and shoot.
Talk to those two guys.
I don't know
about
what you're talking about. Don't look at me.
I'm fine.
These guys don't believe in
I
paper.
just try to train a lot. That's all. I'm like shooting a lot of arrows, but arrows with a purpose. If you start flinging arrows, you might as well put the bow down, right? So, basically that's all I'm trying to do is just, I'll bring a 3D target in and just to look at it and, see where I have to hit that. And right now I'm working on my 50-yard game. That's where I struggled a little bit. And anything out to 50 yards, I was weaker on it. So I've got my target out at about 55 yards right now and just practicing on that. Whenever the weather's good, I'm out there practicing on it. So going to try and make a run for it this year and see what happens.
Cool. What did you think of your first ASA?
So that was my first ASA for this year.
Okay.
And I wanted to go in the senior known 50 class because they call it the semi-pro class.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be able to shoot the same course that Bruno and those guys shoot, just to see how I would make out on that course. And I was blown away by it. It was just the ASAs. If you ever get a chance to go to the Pro-Am, it's a bucket list thing to do for most archers. It's a lot of fun. It's the ASAs that's the next level. Bruno's really showcasing that at his shoot, what the events are like when we go down to these things. He's modeled his shoot off of a lot of those, and it's just a different experience altogether. You have to be on your game in those tournaments because, people are traveling 12, 15 hours to get to these, some across the country to get to these. So they're serious archers. And then along comes me making jokes the whole time, and they don't welcome it too much, but I don't care.
So how do you feel about how you did this year? Like, in your first one and your first one this year in Foley?
I went there I went there with the hopes of placing in the top 10. Day one, I shot a pretty decent round. Not my best, not my worst. It was enough to get me in 5th overall. And then I dropped back day 2. I had a rough day, and I dropped back to 10th. And so 10th overall for my first finish. I achieved my goal, but I wasn't happy. I want to go down there and I want to place top 5.
How many shooters
that's
were
Russell.
at Foley?
In my class, I believe there was 40 or 45 in the senior K50. There's more shooters in the SK 45. A lot of guys stay back until they get bumped up, but I wanted to try and go on the semi pro course just to see where I would stand. Right. So it was like, I was happy with it overall. I can't complain. And, we could always want to do better. And I think I can do a lot better. So I missed a lot of them by half a shaft. I had 13 arrows that were just out by half a shaft. So once I figure that out, I think I'm going to be all right in that class. So
what is your strategy for shooting ASA?
Uppers. That's all I can say is I go for all the uppers. For me, knowing my weaknesses, like practicing and noticing and know anything from 48 to 50, I don't feel as confident. So I'll play it safe. I'll aim for the IBO. I'll call upper and hope I catch the bottom of the ring without blowing through the top, right? So that's just my strategy. And knowing the target's coming up, like, okay, I haven't seen the turkey yet. Where's it going to be? Well, when you shoot at that level, the turkey's at 48 yards. So that part didn't work for me. I thought it was going to be an easier, we didn't see the small ones yet. They'll be close. And no, they had them out there. So I learned a lot from the last one.
Is there a few targets that you just can't stand?
The turkey. The turkey, not that I can't stand it. I'm weaker on it. I'm that one, because I shoot all uppers, it's kind of rounded into the back of it a bit. That target, yeah, I'm going to buy that target when I'm down there next week or 2 weeks from now, just so I can practice on it at 50 yards and not be afraid of it anymore. Because there's a lot of people in Ontario that likes to put those turkeys in dark holes, and shooting a 7-power lens, it's not friendly. So
no, it's not.
I'm gonna work on that.
Yeah, it's actually something I'm trying to work on as well, is shooting with a lens. There was a Black Panther, I think, that Bruno had in, I don't remember what loop it was, but it was so dark. I don't know. I could see with my binoculars, but as soon as I got my bow up, it was B. Yeah.
It was B range right on the turret.
Thing for the life of me.
Yeah.
So
my brother actually came to see me at the shoot, and I walked him down there just to show him what he'd never seen a 3D target before. So I brought him down there to show him, and I said, "Okay, you see that?" And he says, "Yeah." And I said, "That's full sun right now. I shot it in the morning." I said, "You couldn't even see it." And he's like, "Okay, that's something, right?" He stuck around for the shoot down, and that was a good day. He learned a lot, and he asked me why they were all in these little tunnels, and I said, "Well, you can go ask Bruno that question next time you see him." I think Justin's setting up some really good courses. Except for the little tiny targets that you like to put out there and hide.
Okay, well, I can only do so much with the cores that I have. I'm not going to give you a shot out core to blow through, right? I don't want to set out the little guys. I prefer to set out the big guys, but we have a whole bunch of targets coming or cores coming for this season, so
nice.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Are you guys investing into ASA targets this year?
Kind
of. Is that something you're working on, or
yeah,
we're working.
Nice. Unfortunately, like, because of our budget, it's we're trying to get the Reinhardt ASAs, but they're really not the same.
They're a little different, but I mean, it gives you a good variance.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna have to do some modifications. Like, we've got to add some circles to some of them, but other than that, it's and like an ASA's got one size, right? It's got the one size with the They've got some varying sizes on the Reinhardts, but what we want to do next year, and it depends on how much money we make with the club, is we're looking at different ideas to bring in revenue. So that what I want to do is, like what Bruno does, is actually go down and buy a couple of ASA courses.
Buy the ranges, yeah.
It's
the cheapest way to do it. I mean, that is the most efficient way to do it. That's for sure. And you get to go down to one of the shoots after all. Business trip, right?
Yeah. Well, I know both Valerie and I want to shoot an ASA, and a couple of them actually. If I could shoot all of them, I would. Like, if I could afford to do that, I would definitely want to go down there and do that. So if I could get better, maybe I could pay for it with my archery, but I don't see that happening this year for sure.
Well,
So,
when you figure that out, let me know how, because my visa's getting worn out. That's for sure.
yeah, it's a funny thing. I remember I used to shoot this guy. I'll be honest, he was a bit of a dick. But he says, "Oh, I don't even know why you go to these 3D and target things. You're paying money, you're not winning any money." And it's like, well, I'm doing it because I'm a competitive guy, and it's fun, and then I get to meet new people. It's so
I think that's the biggest part, is meeting the new people. There's so many people in archery that I've met over the years, like from across our country and the United States, that are just amazing people. And yeah, there are a few assholes in the group, pardon my English, but I'm probably one of them, because I'm not, it is what it is. But yeah, no, I've met a lot of great people, and I can honestly say I can go anywhere in the country now and I'll know somebody in that area that I can call up and go for a coffee or a beer with, and it's great.
Yes.
So we're very fortunate in Ontario with the archers we do have. That's for sure.
Oh, I agree. Totally agree with you there for sure. So yeah, we're actually trying to reach out to a couple of the Western archers, talk to them, and then try to get a hold of some Eastern guys too. I don't know. The Quebec guys might be the Quebec guys might be a little tough because my French isn't the greatest, but we may be able to maybe get a hold of them too. That'd be an interesting show.
The East Coast boys, there's a lot of great guys out there that we've met going down there over the years, and they'd be fun to have on the show for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Like your Marcel Bork and Dean Dort, guys like that, Warren. They're all coming down. They're going to be at Bruno Shoot, Rogues Hollow, and then again at Porcupine. So you can see them twice a year. And then we made a trip out east a couple years ago for one of their tournaments. I think we're going to do that again. So it's a lot of fun.
And what do you think of the Triple Crown that they're having on this year?
I wish it was closer. That's the first thing. I'm getting tired of driving, but I think it's excellent. I think it's excellent for archery in Ontario. I think it's a great step. The fact that they're going to go down till you only have to do 2, I think that'll increase the amount of people that are willing to sign up for it now. Because let's face it, you can't go to everything, right? And this year, everybody's talking about it. My calendar right now is full of archery tournaments. It's to the point where my wife's looking at it going, well, I'll start picking and choosing, because I'm gone pretty much every other weekend. So yeah, it's fun.
It's been an interesting ride from because I only started in 21. That's like during COVID, and at that time they weren't even running because of COVID. They wouldn't have any archery. In 2022, when they started opening up, it was I think my wife and I, lucky for me that Valerie shoots, but we went to probably every local shoot you could go to because we just loved it. We just thought it was a blast, right? And so it's it really, and then I took over Royal City Bowman, and that's a whole other story that we probably don't need to get into, but
you can tell when you guys took it over, the passion really showed, because I remember going to Royal City and just cursing at you guys for the way registration was, and it was just like it was like a big giant club shoot, right? And then all of a sudden we show up the next year, and I don't know where you got the influence from, I can guess, but you guys all had volunteer shirts on, you had the laptops out, and everything was smooth. And I'm like, and I believe I actually went up to Justin and said something to him, because it's awesome to see what you guys are doing. Like it's, I feel like the archery community in Ontario is only getting stronger now. And the more clubs work together, like with this Triple Crown and stuff like that, and working with dates and affiliations, good things are happening. And I think it's going to be around for a little while. So at least I hope so anyways.
Yeah, we talked to Mark Takuna on the show. He's the interim president for Archery Ontario, and that's his he's thinking that's his sort of what's the word I want to say here? That's his plan, is to try to get clubs to be working together. Because he's also the vice president of Archers at Caledon, so he wants to do some things with our club and his club, and from at a club level, he wants to do that. And then he's trying to figure out how at Archery Ontario they can start doing things like that to sort of encourage clubs to do that.
Right. Which
I think is positive. I know Archery Ontario is not everyone's favorite at sometimes. And it's and Mark made that point, was it's their communication, and he's hoping to fix that. So, if just from talking to him, because I talked to him also at Archers of Caledon, like I get a really positive feeling from him. So I think his heart's in the right place for sure. So, but
well, there's definitely some things that need to be changed with that organization and Canada Archery, and unfortunately, there's been some mishaps along the way that I've encountered with them, and that's why I choose to shoot more ASA than anything. And where I live, I'm right across the border from Michigan, so there's an ASA shoot every other weekend, and then there's an IAA that we shoot, which is IBO scoring, pretty much every other weekend as well on the offset weekends. So I'm over in Michigan pretty much on a bi-weekly basis to begin with. So that's why I generally shoot over there in the summer as well.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know about you, but I think I feel that the ASA game is just it's a better game, especially for known shooters. You know, you got.
I think it's a more technical game. I think it's a more technical game. More risk reward and course management comes into play. It's almost like the chess of checkers. IBO would be checkers, and I think chess is ASA, right? Like it's more strategy to it, especially when you start talking to the competitors. Oh, I'd hate to blow you out the top like that, and you know, guys are aiming too hard at the upper, and you can see them shaking like crazy. You don't get that with the IBO because you're aiming at the middle, right? So if you aim high, you hit a 10. So you screw up on an ASA target, you get used to shooting 8s. At least I have, anyways.
So ASA is definitely chess versus checkers for sure. Even like I think I can't remember who I was talking to, but I think it was Josh Webb was saying when he shot there at Foley a couple of weeks ago, he was saying that he was shooting all the IBOs. You know, he's shooting the IBOs out, but he couldn't. He's having a hard time aiming.
Yeah,
off
he said he couldn't buy a bonus ring while he was there.
Yeah.
And Josh is a good shot like that. I was surprised at that result for him going down there. I expected a big showing from him down there, and I mean it just goes to show you how archery is, right? Travel all that way with expectations, and then you can't hit a ring. That's how my day 2 went. I couldn't hit a 12. You could have put it right in front of me, and I couldn't hit it. There was no way. Just out. And that's just somehow. A guy told me this. Jimmy Pratt. He was an old retired pro. I got to shoot with him 1 year at London, Kentucky, and he said, you know, some days you shoot well, and other days you score well. He says, but as long as the arrow broke clean, that's all you can ask for. And it's true, right? Like how many? Yeah. We don't keep track of the just ins. We always keep track of the just outs, right?
Exactly.
So it's such a finicky game, and you're talking millimeters sometimes. So it's luck has to be on your side at some point in time. At least that's what I'm buying into, anyways. I need a little luck.
So I just want to circle back to your sort of your. I know you call it gathering, but let's call it let's call it hunting. So I'm noticing this trend, and as from a lot of the interviews we're doing, like a lot of the especially younger guys, and no offense, I'm not a young guy either, but a lot of these younger guys are, you know, they've never hunted before. No one in their family hunts, but they had this desire to go out and hunt. You know, some of them are, they watch YouTube videos, or they, you know, or they were lucky enough to maybe get a mentor, but like most of them just learned how to hunt themselves. And if you want to just take us through that a bit with, I know you said you kind of met Bruno, but you know, for 6 years you weren't getting anything. So how did that change? I
started doing a little more research as I was getting frustrated. You know, basically walking my crossbow every time I went out there and decocking it at the truck. I was getting frustrated not seeing any animals, and then I brought somebody out, and it just happened to be Bruno, and he goes, well, you got to move your stand over to here. And literally we moved the stand the day before, and sure enough, we're hunting maybe 25, 30 yards apart. And I see him jumping around like a squirrel on the top of the tree, and he's pointing at deer that are walking right behind him. I would have never saw him, because when I was taught how to hunt was don't move. You don't move, you don't make and I would sit there like a little soldier, like I wouldn't even blink sometimes, right? And then when I did move, there's probably a deer behind me that was scary, right? So I learned to relax a lot more when I'm out there, and they're not as smart as we give them credit for, I don't think. And I mean, I hunt over bait, so it's like bear hunting. Put the corn down, wait for them to come in, and, you know, wait for the best shot. So I changed that. I just started hunting over bait a little more. I've got a good property. Got about 150 acres of farmland with probably 15 acres of bush on it, and it's a travel corridor. So I'm fortunate for the land I hunt. It's 15 minutes from my doorstep. Yeah, I just put the time in and did a little more research into it, and then I got into it a little slower, and then I shot my first deer, and that went over well. And then now I'm, I get my tags every year. I fill them early season. I'm a fair weather hunter. When it gets cold, I stay home. I'm done. Right. That's probably why I don't shoot any big animals, but I don't like being cold. And for years, I didn't like being in a tree either. I was scared of heights, so I would hunt from the ground every time. Now I'm up in a tree and got things changed a little bit, but been a lot more successful. This was a bad year for me, but you're going to have those.
Yeah.
But I'm going back to my crossbow for sure. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm done with compound hunting. It was fun. It's a lot harder. I had a little incident with a nice 10-point buck, kind of a bucket list thing for me. I've never shot a big buck. I've only shot small bucks. Right. So I had this 10-point come out, and I called him. What do I have to lose? Right. He's 80 yards away from me, and I grunted. He come walking on a rope right down the hedgerow to me, and basically gave me the shoulder at 30 yards. And as I went to draw, because I was on my offside, my elbow hit my tether on my tree strap, and then carabiner went off the tree stand like a little ping, and he looked right up at me, and I went, oh boy, here we go. So I was at half draw at that time, and I'm just holding it, right, 70-pound bow, and I'm just holding it at half draw, and I'm like, no way. And at the same time, a neighbor shot a shotgun. And it's really tight corridor sitting there. And that deer just turned and he gave me broadside. So I just let it rip, and I made a bad shot. It was a high shot. I don't know if he ducked the arrow, what happened. Never did see any blood, no hair, no nothing. He ran, took off like he was hit. And I looked for 7.5 hours for that deer over 2 days and never found a piece of hair, nothing. The arrow was in him. And I felt so bad about it that I'd never had that happen before with a crossbow, because it would have been over in the first shot. And I just decided I won't do that again. It's not for me. I don't like that part of it. So, yeah. And I mean, I can hit what I'm aiming at. So it was like, all the things happened at once. And I think a little bit of nerves got involved. And with a crossbow, I feel a little more confident out there. And if I'm taking a life, I'd rather do it the most effective way. Yeah. And for me, that's going to be with a crossbow. So next year's next year.
And that feeling it's just a sick feeling too, right?
Oh, it's disgusting.
I don't think it's, I know we get into this a little bit too, a lot on the show, but just talking about, first of all, the hunting experience, it's hard to explain to people that don't hunt. And then that other feeling that it's just a sick feeling when you feel like you may have hurt something, and
right.
Yeah. And then,
well, I figured it out. I figured out exactly where I hit him. It was up in where they say there's no man's land or whatever. It was above the lungs and below the spine. I watched the arrow go in. Like I said, half the shaft was sticking out when he ran away. And I actually called a few friends about it. I felt so bad about it. And they're like, hey, it happens. Like, just, there's nothing you can do. That deer will be on camera again in another week. He'll be back. Like, don't worry about it. But it was a bad feeling. Didn't enjoy that. So, yeah. But as for hunting, like I said, I put the time in now, and I'm fortunate to have a good spot to go. I've got good friends. Like, I got into bear hunting a few years back, and I just absolutely love that. And luckily, I had Rick Marsh on as kind of a phone a coach type thing when it came to it. And it's that's the hunting I enjoy doing is the bear. Turkey hunting, I got tired of turkey hunting. I like calling them in and just messing with them. So I'll call them in for friends and stuff, because my farm has, like, right now there's probably a flock of 70 birds in there right now.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's to go and get a turkey. I think our record was 15 minutes the one year from truck to blind to dead bird on the ground. So
wow.
Yeah, it's I'm fortunate where I live, definitely.
Yeah, I'm lucky to even see a turkey. So
well, come on down. I'll get you a bird first day, guaranteed.
Oh, wow.
That right. I'll put you on a bird anytime you want.
Alrighty, awesome.
So
yeah,
absolutely.
I've never even come close to one. 80 yards is the closest I've come.
They hanging up on you?
Yeah, they just sit there. It's so heavily hunted where I am, because it's I hunt public. I don't have any I don't have a farm to hunt off of. So and I get them to look at me or look at my decoy. And Rick was saying I should probably be using a male decoy with a fan, but I don't know if that would help or not. I got 2 female decoys and a Jake. They don't care about that. And
I hunt turkey a little different than most guys. Me and Rick have had this conversation plenty. The guy that taught me how to turkey hunt, he put out like 30 decoys like he was goose hunting, and we never shot birds. We never saw a bird. We never shot birds, right? And then so I no longer associate with that guy, but I did some research and talked to a guy in the States, and he told me go out between 10 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon. Sleep in. He says go out there, and he says put a lone hen out in the field and just start gobbling. He says put out a couple gobbles, and then he says then you go and start your barking. And sure enough, every time I did that for 3 or 4 years in a row, I tagged out on the day I did it. Like it was just because what it was, he explained to me was the birds go back to nest and they go to their dusting bowls, the hens. So now these toms are out roaming around looking for solo birds. So you present yourself as a solo bird, he's going to come find you. And unless you get interrupted by a live bird, he's coming right to you every time. And that's been the key to my success hunting them. It's just, I just sit there, couple calls, wait, he'll come in. And I had one stick his head right in our blind the one year. I had a buddy shotgun hunting, never shot a bird before. And it stuck its head right in our blind, came across the ditch and looked right at us like, oh, I'm here, right? So shot my blind. He put a hole in my blind with a shotgun, but it was all right. It was dead bird, right? So, yeah, I just enjoy calling them now. I don't really hunt them myself anymore, but I'll bring guys out all the time.
So I also love bear hunting. So whereabouts do you, not obviously not exact location, but whereabouts do you hunt?
Actually, no, I'll give you that location. I go to a guided hunt every year. When I was going, all of the lake up in, I think it's just outside of Temagami, right off 11. And it's a great spot, 30 active baits most of the time. The first year we went up, 6 guys, 5 bears. I didn't get to go the second year. And then I went up a third year, and it was okay. When I didn't see anything, it was still a great spot, great hunt. It's a family-run business. All the cabins there, they get a fishing boat. Really, really good week of hunting there. The guys are great. Dave that runs it there is a top-notch guy. So I don't have time to go and bait and everything first so far away and then go and hunt. So why not pay somebody to do it, right?
Sure, yeah.
And at least you got a better. I feel I have a better chance or a better opportunity at a bear that way. So I was scared. I can tell you that my first time. I didn't like it, but. No, I enjoy it. I'd like to go out east. I'd like to really go out east, take advantage of some opportunities that people have offered me, and maybe go for some bear out there, or maybe even a big moose hunt out there would be nice. I've never hunted moose yet, so yeah, I got some things that I want to try still. Bucket list stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
I don't know. Moose to me is the ultimate in North America to me, anyways. I know everyone loves their elk and whatever, but nothing like a 1,200-pound monster coming out of the bush.
Till you have to drag it. That's why I shoot small deer.
That's a good point. Yeah, they're not fun to drag out for sure, but I don't know. That's, if you got a good group, it's fun. It's definitely fun. So yeah, like I said, like I always say, I got my first one this year, and it was not the biggest. She wasn't the biggest, but it's still hard to drag out. It was about 800 pound moose. So,
and it's still a moose.
And it's That's delicious. Right. Absolutely delicious. Just made chili with it last night. Excellent. It's excellent meat. Yeah, it's excellent. So yeah. So sorry guys.
We jumped.
So are you bear hunting with crossbow or compound?
No, I hunted with a compound bow when I was there. I brought the crossbow with me in case he had one spot. He put me in a blind. It was literally 10 yards off the barrel, and you needed a crossbow in that. It was a pretty small blind. So I hunted that for a couple of days, and that's a scary feeling. I'm not going to lie. When you're sitting there that close to that barrel and you know it's coming in from behind you and you can hear it, it gets a little unnerving. The guy told me when I first went in there, he says, well, bears don't make any noise. Well, I found out that was a lie because I could hear it behind. I was actually texting Rick Marsh on it, and I says, I hear this snorting, and he's like, it's a bear. Just sit tight. It's coming. And I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, but it was good. Like I said, she never did come into the bait that day, and I didn't get to see her, but we seen her on camera, what was behind me. And it was a large bear for that area. Like where I hunt, if you get a 325, 350 bear, that's a decent bear.
There's nothing wrong with that size of bear at all.
Yeah, I know. To me, that's good eating right there, right? So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm all about tender victuals. So.
Nice. Yeah, and I don't know about you, but I love bear meat. It's absolutely delicious.
Oh, nothing better.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even as much as I like moose hunting, if they could make bears as big as moose, I think just in terms of filling my freezer.
I wouldn't hunt. If they were that big, I'm not going after them. Nope. Like, I don't know how Rick's wife shot a 600, 700 pound bear. No, I wouldn't have been able to pull the trigger. No way. I'd have just let it keep on going. Free meal.
And she shot it with a compound bows.
Exactly.
That's impressive.
Nobody in that family hunts with a crossbow. Rick had a shoulder injury, and I offered mine, and he says, I'll never hunt again if that's the case. And I'm like, okay.
Wow. He's dedicated for sure. He's definitely dedicated.
Oh, he is, yeah.
So going back to competitive archery, can you remember a time where you were at a tournament and you're like, fuck, I can't stand this anymore. Like, I just feel like quitting.
Like an I give up moment? I can't honestly say. I've had some moments where I've been really, really frustrated. Obviously, we all go through that. But I don't think there's ever been a time yet where I've wanted to give it up over a tournament or a bad outing or anything like that. I've had my fair share of injuries and stuff that have held me back a bit. And when I lost my coach, Jim Morrow, when he passed away, I gave up archery for about a year. I couldn't shoot a bow anymore. It was too upsetting for me. And I thought I was doing him a disservice by not implementing what he taught me. And that's actually what drives me today to compete at the higher levels is just the memory of him and what he did for me as a coach and a friend. That's given me the motivation now to stick with it even harder. And it is a different level of commitment when you decide to make a run for it. And I didn't think I had a great season last year, but everybody keeps saying I had a phenomenal one. And I look back at it after and went, yeah, I guess I did have a pretty good season. Like it was, I did all right. So
I was going to say, yeah, you had a pretty good season last year.
So I can't complain.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But again, I just keep it fun. Like I just try to keep it fun, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
See, I like that attitude.
That is a good attitude. Yeah, Justin.
Well,
that's Justin Harrison in a nutshell. He has a very good attitude when he shoots.
We all have to go to work on Monday, right? So it's not like we're winning anything that's going to make us retire. So you might as well have fun while you're out there. Because if you're not having fun, it's not worth it, in my opinion. Right? And I remember walking onto a course at Porcupine Hollow one year, and Wayne Woodcock was so happy he beat me on day one, and I was back in the peer grouping on day two. I was with Wayne and Bob Albert. And Bob says, man, you had a rough day. I think I shot 12 down on day one. And Bob says, yo, you had a really rough day, didn't you? And I says, yeah. I says, but guess what, Bob? I said, tournaments aren't won and lost in one day. I said, so today's a different day. I said, I'm going to make the shoot down. And I did. I think I came back and shot 14 up the next day, right? So you're never out. So going back to the trailer and getting mad about it isn't going to fix it. Just try to figure out what you did wrong and correct it and move on. Once that arrow's gone, it's gone. So that's how I approach it anyway. So that's why if I shoot an 8, I shoot an 8. If it's a 5, I'm not too happy about that. But, there's always another arrow. So I just try and, like I said, it's just have a good time. Make everybody laugh while you're out there if you can. I've been known to be the loudest guy on the group and on the trail. And I've been told to be quiet a couple times, but it's fun. They all know I mean well.
Well, I think there's a lot to be said to that for sure. Like, I do have a hard time resetting after a bad shot. I don't know. People say have fun. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm having fun, but there's also a bit of frustration seeps in when you've hit an 8, then another 8, and then it starts to sneak into 5s.
So that being said,
how do you reset like that?
Do you think it's do you think it's the score that's causing that? It's not the bad shot that you just made. It's the 8 or the 5 going on the scorecard again. Like, what part do you think is really frustrating you?
Oh, it's definitely the process.
Right. Just not following through properly.
Yeah, that's what it's definitely that. I know what I'm saying. Like, I'll shoot the first 10 beautiful. And then I don't know what creeps into my head. I start thinking about other things, and if I know focus is definitely my issue. I have a hard time 100%. Staying focused for those.
That's where I struggle the most at as well. I start to having too much fun, and I start forgetting. Oh, perfect example. You put a picture up of me online when you said that you're going to interview me, and that's a picture. I don't know where you dug that up from, but that's from that picture is from Ontario 3D days. And I looked at where my elbow was in my form, and I'm like, you can tell that's before coaching right there. Like, that was terrible. But a lot of my problem is the mental side of it, and getting the coaching, investing in that was the best thing I ever did. But form is just remembering to stay in form and shoot the process and keep those thoughts out of your head. right? That's the biggest thing. Keep your mind clear on what you're doing. That's what's helped me start getting to the next level. So I just kind of, just the mental side of it. Joel Turner has a great program on that. I've used, bits and pieces of his program that I've heard about. And the most part of it is the mental thing, and don't let obtrusive thoughts into your mind when you're at full draw. Like if you're sitting there aiming at the target going, oh, I don't want another 8, guess what you're getting? You're probably going to get a 5. Like it's because you're so busy on that, you forget everything else. Yeah. So I do a little talk to myself before I draw the bow every time, and I say my own thing in my mind, and that kind of focuses me, and then I let the shot go, and wherever it lies, that's where it's going to go. So it's over after that.
Yeah.
Move on to the next target and try to recoup, and never look at the scorecard ever. That's bad luck.
Yeah, definitely. I think for right now, I have a couple of form things I've been working on, and the other thing I'm working on is the mental game, going out and actually. So again, when we talk about shooting paper, when you're shooting a 3 spot, it's 1, 2, 3. So what I'll do is I'll take a breath before that first shot, like they call it a cleansing breath in yoga or like box breathing, where I take a short breath and a longer breath out. That really calms me down, and then I tell myself, okay, I'm gonna get ready to shoot and draw the bow, and I try to talk myself through the whole shot. That second shot I can do it, and then sometimes that third shot I got to take that deep breath again, because so I'll notice patterns, right? You look at your scorecard, and you're like, okay, I got a 10, and then a 9 or an 8. Well, right. And if that pattern's there, it's like, well, what am I not doing on the third shot? And that's the best thing that you can do right now is, and I just started doing it this year myself, is keeping score all the time and tracking my scorecard, saying that, so now your third target's your weak one, so you have to reset before that. Mm-hmm. I use that in 3D all the time, because like I said, right around target 10 on a 20 target course, and I get comfortable with my group. And of course, being in the United States, they all want to know about Canada and, how everything is over here and how's my igloo and all that stuff. But we chat with them, and I get myself into the conversation and out of the tournament. And I think some of my Canadian counterparts know that about me now, because they always try to get me wound up by about target 10 if I'm beating them. And then I know what they're up to now. So this year, I had headphones on the whole time. They're not going to know what's coming. I'm going to be like a tank on these guys this year. So hopefully anyway. So we'll put you on the shooting line right now. Let's say you're on the, you've made the top 5. So when you're, let's say it's the 5th shot, you've got to hit a 14. When you're standing over that shot, well, what are you thinking?
Well, that was fun. That's exactly what I think. I'm like, I got one opportunity, right? I got to make the shot, and usually I don't. That's usually where I fail. The shoot downs are the most nerve-wracking when you're first in them. When you first get into the shoot downs, especially in that moment, like you described, to sum it up in one statement, a guy said to me the other day, he said, I was shaking so much, I saw white caps in my bubble. And if you look at your bubble, you know what that means, right? And he's like, it's true. Like, you're looking at your pen and it looks like a kid with an Etch-a-Sketch, right? Like, it's just all over the place because of your nerves. The more you shoot them, the better off you become in them, right? You learn to tune out all the other stuff. Everybody's watching you, and it's a nervous place. But yeah, last arrow, need a 14. Yeah, I'm probably just going to check myself out at that point. I don't have that mental game yet for that, and that's just being honest. So
that's fair. And do you practice shoot downs?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I practice at the 14s quite a bit. Not that in my class in the ASA Pro-Am, they don't have a shoot down for us. It's just your score is your score, and that's it. So I don't have to worry about that for another couple of years anyways. But the local shoots, the local 3D stuff, it's the same thing. Like, our shoot downs are just as important, and they run the same way. So if I'm behind, I can guarantee I'm going for every 14. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm there to try to win it, Gonna have fun doing it, but hopefully I don't put myself in those positions where I need them.
Yeah, so we get talk about the Canadian scene or the Ontario scene. Do you think we're seeing a resurgence in archery back to? I always hear I'm going to say the old time stories about 2019 and how Aunt 3D and those type of things were going on, and there was you were getting a lot of archers of the indoor 3D shoots, that sort of thing as well. you think we're getting back to that? Do you think it's starting to grow again, or?
I think this year, 2026, I think we're going to surpass that. I think with the amount of the tournaments that we have scheduled and the amount of new people that I've seen at different tournaments, I think it's building back up in that, trending in that direction again. And I think all of that is from what you guys are doing with the clubs at the club levels, right? Making it fun for everybody and putting on really, really good hosted events. Because let's face it, if you go to a club shoot and it's not run very well, and the targets are blown out and all the other stuff, it's not a great experience. Even down to the lunch, right? You go there, you're hungry, and you get a garbage lunch, right? It's just, it sours the whole experience. So I think with what all the clubs are doing now, they're focusing on all the other stuff to go with it, and not just making it a club shoot. Now it's an event, right? Where people want to attend that event. And once you get that atmosphere, there's no stopping it. And you're looking at Porcupine. Rogue's just getting on the map now, and they got a good following going. But Porcupine, it's always a party there. You look at the trailer sections. I don't know if you guys have been, but it's been hard on my liver for quite a few years going to that one. I tend to do myself some damage there, and that's probably why I never have won one. But but the atmosphere at Southern Canadian Classic, that's what I love. Is the camaraderie and the camping and the whole event of it all. And I've witnessed a lot of new archers that came down there for their first shoot, and they went on my trailers. Same thing I did when I got started. I went to my first on 3D, and the next week I had a fifth wheel camper behind my truck. And I said I went and did all of them that year. So I think there's an uptick, definitely. I think it's happening, and it's good to see. But it's guys like you guys, what you're doing to cause that and create that, all these tournaments.
Well, it's good to hear. That's good to hear. Like it's nice to hear that once in a while. Sometimes you just think you're, I don't know, you're doing things into the ether, and you just, like I do it. Again, I'll say this every time. There's no selfless acts. Nobody does things that doesn't somehow benefit them, right? So for me, I love putting on events. I love when people leave with a smile on their face. If someone doesn't leave with a smile on their face, well, I feel a little bit bad.
You're not going to please everybody.
Right? Oh, I agree.
You can't feel bad about that. You're not going to please everybody.
Yeah, I agree. And mostly the events we put on, we've had people leave with smiles on their faces. So that's thanks to all.
Well, just look at your attendance,
guys.
Just look at your attendance from where you were 3 years ago to what you did last year.
Yeah.
Every time I go there, we get there even earlier now because parking, you're down the road. Now, mind you, I travel with Bruno, and he seems to get VIP treatment sometimes. So I get to park up close, right? But it's getting busier and busier every time I go there, and I love seeing that. Yeah. More competition. It's only going to be more fun.
I agree. So you think we're producing enough talent here in Ontario and Canada wide? Definitely.
When we go out to the East Coast, and I love those guys out there, the first year I didn't go with the guys, and everybody came back with gold medals or gold belt buckles or whatever they were offering there. And the next year I went out there with the guys, and I think it was the third year I went, and I ran into this gentleman, Lee Beck, great guy. And he says, are you from Ontario? I said, yeah. And he says, well, there goes another position. Like, they just know that Ontario's a little bit at a different level. And I think that's because the courses we shoot, the guys set them up hard. It's not just, hey, let's put them at 25 yards and go have fun, guys. Like, you got to work for it. So I think from what I see in comparing it to Michigan has way more archers than us, a lot more clubs. But the level of archers that we're producing in Ontario, we can compete across anywhere. Definitely. I definitely feel like if the guys are putting the time in, right? I think you're seeing a lot more higher caliber shooters come out now. But you look at the Wood family, right? Great people. Carl's grandkids. Those two boys, man, watch them in the next 5 years. They're our future, and those boys can shoot already. And now they're getting coaching, and just super proud to watch that happen, right? And I think that's where it's at, is developing the younger archers or the new to the industry archers, and seeing them turn around and do what we're doing, right? So
and you're trying to drive interest for the ladies, kids. I know CJ says this on his podcast a lot, that it's the fastest growing segment for archery is ladies and young people. So I hope that's true. I know, like, we have a hard time. I think maybe we have 4 kids that come out. Like, my kids don't even want to. They don't come out very often, right? So
neither does mine.
And it's too bad. Like, I think, that it really benefits. There's a lot of benefits to shooting archery, and speaking with Mark Takuna again, like even he was saying that it helps autistic kids, it helps kids with ADHD, because it's all about focus, right? And that that kind of thing really helps them. They've actually done studies where it shows that it really improves those kids. So with the way they even associate with other people, they become more social. So anyways, that's we're trying to get more kids. I've got one lady. She texts me all the time. She wants me to coach her kids. So I was like, yeah, bring them out, and I'll take them under my wing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hoping
so
to
our
meet
problem down here is we have a really good organization down here, Windsor Archery, and Jason and Jesse do a ton of bringing new people into the industry, into the sport. But the problem is down here, there's nowhere for them to go afterwards. So they go and they shoot, and they learn how to shoot, and they have a good time. But there's nothing down here for us. We have no clubs left. So unless you're willing to travel to the United States or 3-4 hours, like I think our closest shoots are in London. We're trying to work on getting something down here going right now. But I think that's a big problem down in our area in the South. There's not a lot of clubs to go to for the next level, where you guys around the GTA seem to have a lot more you have a lot more clubs, but it seems like that's drawing more people now. So hopefully that changes things, so there's a place for them to go and develop different skills. Down here, there's not much, right? And a lot of people get intimidated going to these shoots if they don't know somebody, right? You stand up and the guy's got a shooter shirt on, long stabs and everything, and they can't hit a target, and you're out there pounding 12s and 14s. They get discouraged, right? So I try to keep it fun. And when I'm out there, if I see someone struggling, I'm the first one to put my bow down and go and talk to them and try and make them feel more comfortable, right? Because they're our future. Without them, we're pretty much done if the numbers drop off again.
Yeah, that's very true. And I know we do our part. I know, like everywhere I go, I try to, like at a club level right now, I try to sell the club, obviously, and then just tell them the benefits of coming. It's a great community, that sort of thing. And we've actually, and I think Justin can speak to this, but our memberships are already pouring in, right, Justin?
Yes, they are. So we have, like, the first day of signups, we had like 4 new members, like brand new
awesome.
members. We have a lot of.
That's really good.
Yeah, we have a lot of older members return, or not older, but older members returning, and there's these 2 guys from shooters that I'm trying to poach over to Royal City because they're like 20 minutes away. Like one guy shoots a 6.16 on paper, but he's a hunter, and he brought his buddy in, so I'm trying to poach them for Royal City.
Now, do you guys leave your targets out? Do you guys leave them out? Like put them out in the spring and leave them out all summer?
Yeah. So
all year round
on your 3D range. I wish we had something like that. That's awesome.
So we have 20 targets that we leave out all year round. Generally for the winter months, I keep out our crappier targets, or like the more beat up ones. But as you know, I rotate targets a lot. If you listen, I rotate a lot. So it's generally our smaller ones or our more beat up ones but come springtime, every like 3 weeks, I'm rotating targets because I don't like the same target in the same spot at the same distance all the time.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
It is, but I enjoy doing it because I don't want you to come to the club and be like, oh, as a competitor, and be like, oh, that's 35 yards away. You don't even have to pull out a rangefinder. When you come, or anyone else comes, I want to blow your expectations. I want you to actually have to pull out your rangefinder and actually use the equipment, right? Like, and I want to play with light and shadow, and I want to put that turkey in the dark.
No.
No, you don't.
Turkey, bright light, 22 yards.
Okay, that's okay. Yeah,
and I'll still miss it.
Right, but that's what I want to do. I want, like, I enjoy making the course hard but fun. Like that's why I don't
think
mind.
That's a fine line. That's a fine line when you're setting up a course. Like everybody wants to make it challenging for the guys at the top, but you still got to make it fun for the people. If anybody's out there losing arrows all day, it's not fun.
No, right? I agree.
So I think there's a fine line doing that, right? Of setting up a course that works for everybody.
Yep.
So that's a challenge, and I give you guys credit because I don't think I could do it. I don't have the time of day to do it, to be honest with you, but I don't think that would be the toughest part, is keeping it fun for everybody, but still making a challenge for the people that want to compete at that level, right? So, and get them coming.
Yeah.
So it's I give you credit for that. That's a tough thing to do, and you seem to keep trying and doing it. Every time I've gone there, I've been impressed. So it's especially the last 3 years, it's been great. Take my money, I'm coming back.
We'll take it. We'll definitely take it. So I know you kind of touched upon this, like, so about kind of what's for the archery scene, what would help Canadian archers succeed. But aside from like more density or more archery clubs, you know, what other things can, because we only do it as a community, right? You can't really rely on the government or other organizations to kind of do it for us. Like, do you see anything else that could kind of help Canadian archers kind of succeed? Maybe get to ASAs or that sort of thing.
Well, I think trying to get more people into the ASAs is going to require clubs having ASA tournaments, right? Like, I mean, with what the Triple Crown's doing now, I think Carl bringing it in, Ontario 3D brought ASA in, and when it first came in, nobody knew what ASA was. We shot that, and it was like, wow, this is impressive, like scary, and you didn't see the scores that you see now because guys would just shoot the middles, right? They'd, I'll just play it safe and just shoot the middles. And now with the caliber of shooters we have, you can't play it safe. You got to go for every single one. If you put it on autopilot, you're happy. I guess you're content with where you're at. If you want to win it, you got to go for them. Yeah, you just have to. And I think more clubs bringing on the ASA stuff and running it that way, and sticking with a set of guidelines that are like cohesive across the board, like don't change things, just everybody run the same. That's really going to help. And I know, like, the people I talk to, that everybody I talk to really wants to go to an ASA. They want to go to an ASA Pro-Am, and London, Kentucky's the closest one. Fortunately, it's probably one of the more technical ones with the lighting, and the hydro lines are pretty. You're standing in the full sun shooting into the dark, and then the next day it's opposite. You're standing in the shade shooting into the full sun. So it's a challenging course, but it's a real eye opener for people that want to try it, to see where they're at from the Ontario scene, right? So I recommend everybody do it once. It's like when you hear people saying, "Well, I want to go to Vegas once in my life." Well, you want to go to an ASA for sure. It's it's a carnival, basically. It's a carnival for archery.
Yeah. So I have a bit of a thought. I like to put things out there because sometimes they get done. Like I remember putting the Triple Crown out there, and then CJ came to me one day and said, "Yeah, I want to do this FTCC thing with," and I know a Triple Crown had already been done, but we were trying to bring them back. It's like, so I was talking to Valerie last night or 2 nights ago, and I said, you've got, I know, like, geographically, right? You got the Ottawa area, you kind of got Southern Ontario, you got Southwestern Ontario, you've got this, you've got that. It's a lot of traveling for a lot of people. It's not, it's not really conducive for their, for them. So my idea was, like, if you had all these separate little ASAs, right? You could get like the best shooter, whoever, each category gets the best shooter from Ottawa, or Eastern, let's call it Eastern Ontario, from Northern Ontario, Northwestern Ontario, Southwestern Ontario, and then get them all into one tournament, like
a final.
Like a final, yeah, where they all compete against each other. I think, I don't know, these are the kind of ideas I have, like, to make it interesting, right?
So, I think the easiest way to start something like that would just be submitting scores, right? So you just say, okay, so you guys are going to run your event as long as it's run this way. Take the highest scores from every category and catalog it. Unfortunately, who's going to do that, right? You got to have somebody that's going to want to step up and do that. And, but I think it would be a really cool thing to do and say, okay, you've got this shooter from Ottawa Archers and this guy's over here from Royal City, and they're going to compete this next one. And just do a score thing and have it advertised, right? Of what the scores are and who's doing what. And I think, like, the full draw was excellent. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. What I didn't like about it was at the end, it seemed like the shooter, when they had the points together for everybody, that was kind of forgotten about at the end. I think it was a long summer. Everybody was done. It was the first time we did it. But, like, Bruno won that tournament hands down in our class. But there was really no mention of it other than the prize at the end, and not say, like, I would have liked to seen the scores posted maybe a little more often and say, hey, you got a tight battle between Tony Markick and Dave Schnarr. right?
Yeah,
Like these are where they're at right now. They're battling for third right now. Maybe hype that up a little and get more interest, because it seemed like with that one, there was the money class and then there was the trophy class. And it seemed like once they had the first one and they seen who was at the top, the money class died right off. Guys were like, well, I can't catch him or I can't beat him. So they kind of gave up. So I think there needs to be something there. Maybe if you're going to sign up for money class, you sign up for all three when you do it, right? Just to keep it competitive across the board, or just keep it all one class. Instead of having a trophy and a money, do it all the same, right?
Yeah.
So there are a few things, but they did a great job. I mean, I loved it. I hate to criticize them on things, but I can't keep my mouth shut on some things. So.
No, it's I don't get me wrong. I think those guys are very open to listening to suggestions, right? It's not necessarily a criticism. It's it's not like you're saying it sucked. It's the way it goes, right?
No, it didn't, not at all.
Yeah, no,
not at all.
So like that's pretty positive criticism, I think. And again, like the only way to grow is to hear people out, and you take the good ideas and you use them, and you take the bad ideas and you toss them out. Even like
I know I'm gonna be doing the. I'll be doing it again because my wife asked me tonight before I came out here. She says, "When is it? When are we going to that one in Elmira again?" Because she loved the campground that we stayed at. So I said, "Well, I guess I got to do all three again." So, so that to me is like her saying yes. That's what I'm saying, right?
That's exactly what she said. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the other idea to keep people in would be so if you're in the money class, or whatever the class will be called this year's, you get a chance at, and if you attend all three, you get a chance at winning the bow instead of the top shooter winning the bow. The top shooters already won the money, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? I keep people in the class. It keeps them interested because, okay, maybe I'm going to finish sixth, but if I go to the last one, I can win a Bowtech Carbon 1, right? So I'm going to go to the last one.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think I think what the SEC did there, and I keep saying Bruno and the SEC, I should really say Carrie, because that's who's the one that runs that show. She, like when they came up with the average Joe, I thought that was the best thing I've ever seen, because you have the guys that are grinding, that are always just out of the shoot off, or just in, they're sitting 6th, 7th place, and they just can't get to that next level yet. But hey, here's $200 for being the average guy. Like, that's awesome. And I think that keeps people wanting to go because they still feel competitive at that point, and not just that they're going out there and getting beat up.
Yeah. And to your point, if everyone had ASA targets and we were all shooting ASA and we're keeping scores throughout everything, you could almost set up handicaps and that sort of thing too, right? So that not necessarily that the guy with he's got a minus 20 handicap and he's not going to finish first regardless, but you kind of class people, and then you finished first in the minus 20 division or the whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, right.
But,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, I think this year what they're doing, everything with all the triple crowns running and the full draw.
Yeah.
You've got the provincials, the nationals. I think it's going to be such a busy season that you'll see some things develop from that. I'm hoping the Triple Crown up east there is going to be very successful. I can't see it not being with the people that are running them. Locations, I mean, I travel 9 hours no matter where I go. 8-9 hours, I'm used to it. Like, it's as far south as you can get. Everything's, you guys are close. That's like, we drive 3.5 hours. So your shoot, we get up at 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning to go to your shoot. Yeah, so it's not the drive, but I know it's not for everybody either.
Yeah.
So I hope the participation's good up in that area. I think they're going to do well. I really do.
I agree. I want to get to at least one. So, I haven't shot Rogues, and I haven't shot. Obviously, no one shot the Perkins one yet. Well, I guess if you went to I'm not sure if he had the same setup.
Yeah, he had one last year, but I don't know if it was at the same spot. I didn't go last year either. I'm looking forward to that one this year.
Yeah, me too. So,
and actually, I wasn't going to go to it. There was something else at Bass and Bucks in Indiana. It's a trail shoot. I told a group of guys I might go to that, but as soon as they said it was going to be a Triple Crown, I thought, well, then I have to go. It's just I have to go. There's a title to be after there, right? So I wanna. I can't let any of the guys in my class have any advantage on me. So I got to keep going, right?
And there's going to be belt buckle. So
that's right, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, you can't let Wayne Woodcock win it. So
no, we can't let Wayne win, because that's. I got to say about him, he tried. Man, he is the most dedicated archer I've ever met. And I shot with him at Running Bear last year. It was me, him, and Tony Market. And Wayne, that's the best round I ever seen Wayne shoot.
Oh,
and his
really?
last target, he walks up and he says, man, he says, if I shoot a 10 here, I'm going to meet my goal. And I said, well, good luck. And we walked up and it was I think it was a 48 or 49 yard javelina downhill and it was dark.
Ooh.
And sure enough, Wayne drops out for a 5 or an 8 and he just blew up. And I said, you know what that's from? I said, you asked me to look at your scorecard just before we got to that target. I said, the whole day he shot amazing. And then he looked at the scorecard and basically shit the bed. And yeah, it was good. But I love shooting with Wayne. He's a lot of fun on the course. And he calls me at least once a week to tell me that he's coming for me. So it's going to be an interesting summer with him.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. I love that kind of like you can call it rivalry or camaraderie. It's kind of a little bit of both, right? It's something.
There's a lot of banter going on behind the scenes. That's for sure.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Like, I know Josh Webb asked Benoit Boulet for a rematch. So that's hopefully that happens this summer sometime. So
nice.
Yeah, that'll be a nice shootout.
Yeah, we've got some shooters, that's for sure. Ontario's stacked full of some good shooters. There's no doubt about that.
We do. Even on the lady side, like we got some lady killers out there, man.
Absolutely.
They can shoot. Like Aaron Lee, Daniela Webb, Katie Roth. All of them can shoot, right? So it's pretty awesome.
Well, I'm really looking forward to see what Caitlin Wood does this year. Now she's got coaching and everything. Yeah. I think she's going to be the one to watch this summer. She's determined this year, and she's stubborn like her old man. So it's going to be interesting to see her shoot this year.
Very nice. So on that note, so just to sort of close this one up, what are you chasing right now in archery, Dean?
What am I chasing? Everything. What I want most this year is I want to compete at the Pro-Am in the ASAs. I want a top 5 finish. I'd like to win one. That's a bucket list for me. But just keep grinding, and I want to come out this year and kind of take control of the Ontario scene in my class is what I want. But whether I get there or not will to be determined, right? So I'm just working at it daily. So I'm looking forward to this year.
You may have to take Bruno out at the knees or something soon.
I want to beat him on his best day. That's all I want. I want to beat him on his best day. And we go back and forth all the time. And he knows how bad I want it. And he tells me all the time, he goes, I can't wait to the day you can do it consistently. Because I have beat him, but just not on a consistent. As soon as he says buck a point, I'm screwed. I might as well just give him my money right there. It just, as soon as he does it to me, I'm like, and I can't pass up a bet because I'm a sucker like that. But it's a lot of fun rivalry, and I'm grateful for the people I have that I can compete with. And Tony Markick, we're back and forth all the time, sending each other pictures of groupings. And I shot this at 250 yards, and I was in a moving car when I shot this one. So it's a lot of fun. It's I hope that there's other clicks like this going around in archery, because I look forward to it every day. It's what keeps me grounded.
Yeah, me too, for sure. So on that note, thanks, Dean, for coming. And that was Letdown. Thanks very much.
I appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
I'm Justin Harrison. You can find me on Instagram at Justy_785 or on Facebook. Just look up Justin Harrison.
I'm Misha Corso. You can find me on Instagram at Misha Corso. And if you're looking for some great bow hunting and sport shooting merch, look up Stray Sons Archery on Instagram. The link to our Shopify is in our bio.
I'm Chris LaFleur. If you want to find us, the show is Letdown Podcast on Spotify and YouTube. And on Instagram and Facebook, you can find us at the Letdown Podcast. Catch you next time. This was The Letdown. Thank you for listening. This was The Letdown.